Welcome to the stream. I hope you're all good. It's been a while not streaming. We've been experiencing power off in my country, so sometimes so hard to stream because we don't have a network to do streams. So I'm back now just to catch up about Chelsea so far under Guardiola, and also about the new recruitment stuff that Bolly is putting in place. And then we're going to talk about few things about the World Cup. And today I'm with my guest here, Nick. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Welcome to the stream. So I guess you've been seeing something from or notification from our Chelsea app or news from social media. Totally hearing Lawrence Stewart, Joe Shields, and Paul Wispengley. So overall, so far, what is your thoughts about getting a recruitment staff in Chelsea finally?
Well, it's all been a massive upheaval at Chelsea since Bowley has taken over, isn't it? But he's definitely implementing his own sort of stance on the club. He's taken, I think, a lot of experience from his running of his American football clubs. Is it football or baseball? But baseball. Thank you. And people are saying that he's got no experience in this field, which is strictly, yeah. If you're going to be fussy about it and semantic, then yeah, that's true. But it's a business at the end of the day, and that basically means that he knows what he's looking at as far as a business concern is concerned. Nobody wants to come to the club run like an accountancy. Nobody at all. We're all really passionate about our club, and that's the only downfall one might say about his style of business. But he's already sort of looking at statistics of players and what really suits the club, and with their statistical figures. So, and that's something that Roman Abramovich didn't do. He used to buy because he liked those players. Shevchenko, although did us well and he was a good striker, he probably wasn't one of the best strikers we've had. As far as, say, Didier Drogba, I mean, we all know that Jose wanted Didier, and he knew exactly who to get when he took Didier on, and he's just a talisman for our club, a real legend. So we're in a, how can I put this? It's a time where it's going to be full of new experiences, and it's going to take a bit of time to get used to. Obviously, there's a lot of ill feeling, literally, on social media with how things are going, particularly with Graham Potter, and but that's another story. I could talk quite extensively about that, and I'm sure you want to go down. You want to talk about him. But he's recruited Graham Potter for this, and the same reason, because he had certain aspects that he was looking for: his man management style, his outlook for future plans. Whereas Thomas Tuchel, evidently come to loggerheads with Todd Bowley. So that's where we are. So I think, yeah, it's exciting times, definitely very, very different times. And we just need to get behind him. and support the owner and the manager, and obviously the boys on the pitch.
Yeah, I fully agree with you because as a Chelsea fan, I just want to let know Chelsea fans, whether we are doing good, bad, or for example, win, lose, draw, we need to support our team, especially when we lose. We don't need to go out on the social media calling the players names and stuff. It's so bad because we need to support them. And then those players, I've seen a lot of things in the social media that we push them, calling them names and stuff. It's wrong for our fan base. So that needs to change overall. So we need to support them. Uh, Hopefully they'll do better going forward. And then
Yeah,
yes, you're right. And then again, like, so far what I've like about Tripoli, he said it during some interviews he went, especially that one short interview. He said he's going to put people in place to run Chelsea Football Club. And we see now he got Lawrence Stewart, Josh Hill, Paul Westanley. So he's a man of his ways. And the things are going to change. As Chelsea fans, yes, we like to buy big name players for huge fees. So I feel like after next summer, we're going to go back in the roots where we buy good players with a reasonable amount, just like we did under Mikel Emelano. Because under Mikel Emelano, we used to buy just average players, good players. But when they came to Chelsea, they're good players because they want to fight for our club. But ever
yeah,
since he left the club, we've been struggling with that. So I don't know it's whether it's our board or our scouts were not doing well. Because if you can recall, past 3 to 4 years, we've been spending big on players, but did they do well for us in terms of league form? Nothing. Yes, we won the Champions League, the cups and stuff. It's good, but we need a league now. How many years have we been won a league? It's been a while now. It's been years now.
yeah,
So overall, things need to be changed. Yes, Grandpa so far it started well, and then now things are not good for him.
yeah,
Yes, I'm not taking the moment as a Chelsea fan, but again, I wish that he can get it right, and so that the team can play well. But overall, I want Judge Grandpa in 2 months. It's too early for me, so I just want to give him a time to build his team. And yes, I wanted Thomas Tuchel to do this road, but again, him and the new owners didn't get along very well. So at the same time, I want to say I don't I hate Grandpa for what he did with Thomas Tuchel. It's up to them. They do all they do diligence behind the scenes. So we need to trust the process. And yes, we've been competing a lot. But again, if we want to compete for the league or for a long period of time, we need
yeah.
structure. So
See, I
go
think
on.
I think I think what it is, where Abramovich had this results or sacked business model for the continuity of the time that he was the owner. We lost our main core back in the mid 2000s to around about 2010. We'd lost our complete core of our team, and that was Peter Cech, John Terry, Frank Lampard, Didier Drogba, and then you've got all the outskirt players like Hazard. Hazard was a phenomenal player for us, but again he glossed over the cracks. But then you had the other players like Ballack, Joe Cole, Ashley Cole. They were all leaders, and that is something that the club is drastically, massively missing at the moment, is a core of leaders. I think we've got some bright sparks there to rebuild that core, and only time will tell. We obviously need we need two central midfielders because Thiago Silva, as exceptionally brilliant as he is, how long has he got left at the top level? 1, 2 years. He's 37 now, so we definitely need now at least one central midfielder, and then we need a holding, attacking defender, Kante, midfielder, sorry, in the guise of Kante, somebody that can take over his place. Kante now is obviously struggling with fitness and keeping at the peak of his fitness, which is a crying shame because he's such a player. He is magnificent on his legs. Constantly being said that he's two players on the pitch. So we definitely need another midfielder like Kante. Declan Rice fits that bill. He's a player that you can liken to John Terry with his vision and his commitment. I know he's ex Chelsea, from the academy, somebody else that we let go at an early age, but it is what it is. And then we need obviously a striker, but who fits that bill? I'm quite blinkered. I don't watch European football, so I couldn't tell you who we could take from abroad. I think Kane is too old for us now. He's past his best. And yeah, Vardy again. He's 34, too old. There's two top strikers. Who else could we take on board to fit that core?
Yeah, I agree. A big up to Tops, and then if you want the link to the stream, just send me a DM and then I'll send you the link, because I don't want to share it on the timeline because we had an issue with people posting bad things, and then normally YouTube will block you from doing a stream. So if you want the link, just send me a DM on my YouTube account, and I'll send you the link. And then also big up to Lemley saying hi to I won't be able to watch, so just dropping a like for the stream. Thank you, Lemley. I really appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, you're right. The thing now is happening at Chelsea. If you look at Man City, for example, they sold Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, and Zinchenko. They were able to refresh that with Erling Haaland, Alvarez, and a new left back. I forgot his name. You can see they have a structure, they have a plan going forward. But at the moment with us, we just buy the players for the sake of buying. We don't check whether they fit without we play and stuff. So it's so annoying at the moment. So let me just add some more here. Taskachi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good, Tabucho. And how are you, Nick? And I hope everybody's having a jolly good Saturday.
Thank you very much, Tedeschi. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm back from the dead. I'm back.
Taskachi, I hope that you won't talk about Cristiano Ronaldo today.
Oh, you see, that's why I don't join some of these conversations, because I feel like if I say something, the whole fan base will come against me.
Ronaldo, he would bring a certain something to the club, but again, he's an older player, and he is a marquee player, but he's coming to the end of his playing career, isn't he? And yet
Yes.
Let's be honest, he brings baggage with him, and is that something that's needed? For Potter to deal with that ego. He could be a phenomenal player for us, but would he wear the badge? That's the thing, or would he just be another mercenary, taking in 200 plus grand a week, and just there for his retirement fund? That's my only concern with Ronaldo, is that, well, my only concerns are his age, and will he be a mercenary, and how long is he going to play for us at a decent level? And then, as I say, then there's his ego, as we've all seen. The interview on Piers Morgan. Well, I haven't personally watched it myself. I can understand why he's gone on there to talk about his frustrations. But is that professional? Why not just prove it on the pitch, prove it on the training ground, and show Ted Hag that he is a player to be used? But is it a case that he thinks he's got God-given right to be picked for every game? I don't know. There's obviously something going on now. Would he? Again, would he fit at Chelsea? This is going to annoy a lot of people. Could you consider him to be? He plays the same position as Hazard did, and I felt that Hazard, as brilliant as he was, and he carried our team quite a few for a season, and literally won us a cup off his own back. But he was a selfish player, and when you're a winger and you'll roll in to supply crosses into the box for Morata, and so on to score, but he's running into the box himself, closing in all the defenders, by which time our strikers are all closed down, and they can't operate like they want to, because Hazard would intentionally run into the box and ultimately score himself, which was brilliant. You can't take that away from him, but that's been a massive downfall for a lot of our strikers, because they've not been getting the service from the wingers, and Hazard being one. And I think, if you take on somebody like Ronaldo, who is, is quintessentially a selfish player and will go on into the box himself and score, which is brilliant. As I say, you can't knock it. But again, it means our strikers are going to struggle unless we get somebody like a Costa or a Diago. It's a real hard option, really, I think, and it's got its pitfalls, but it's got its bonuses.
Yeah, I agree. So, Taska G, so overall, my friend, what is your thoughts about Tozboli getting a recruitment team for Chelsea, going forward? Because I think under Roman Abramovich, we never had something like this. A technical director that have the knowledge of football, and also, for example, now we're getting a recruitment, global talent recruitment, which is upon Wesley, upon West English, sorry, and also George Hill, who's I think is a co-director also of recruitment of Chelsea. So like whenever something like this at Chelsea, so as the overall, I see like you're getting a notification from a Chelsea app and we're reading this news. Is either on your Chelsea app or social media. So overall, what is your thoughts about Chelsea getting a recruitment squad?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I hope there's not much interference for my mic. Okay, yeah. Before I answer that very good question, Tabuko, I just wanna like respond to what Nick was saying. And what Nick was saying is absolutely really true. This is one of the most level-headed takes, really fair takes on Ronaldo that I've heard in a long time. It was not dismissive. It pointed out to really crucial things that everyone should think about. And I've been a super fan and I've been coming at it from this angle, but he really did raise some points that I resonate with. And what I can say, and this is not to say that you are wrong. You're very, very correct. Very correct. And I agree with you. But maybe what can I say is that I think for maybe, I'm not sure for how long, but perhaps a season or so. Ronaldo, I think he's gonna bring the fight. He's gonna bring the fight to the club in terms of, scoring, doing this and that. I think that they'll definitely feed off that. And they will definitely feed off that. They will like it's like I don't know what can I say? And like maybe what I'm trying to say is that character. Yes, you can have runners in a team, but you also need that type of character, right? It's much like Manchester City. They don't have like that winning mentality for the final games, right? And arguably, you could say that as like we are not a better team than Manchester City, but we are a great cup team, right? You know, I mean, given our full squad and everything, right, we can pretty much take on everyone, right? But it's also because of the type of characters that we have in that squad. I mean, we've got Kante. We once had Rudiger, which I think it's a lot. It's a lot of problems that we don't have him because he's that fighter. And what I'm trying to say is that in Ronaldo, we're gonna have that winner. We're gonna have a fighter from the front. You see, yes, he's not like running like a 25-year-old Timo Werner covering the pace and whatever, but who needs that? What we need this guy to do is score goals. What Benzema does, I mean, Benzema does, yes, okay, he presses, but he doesn't press as much as Timo Werner presses or Kai Havertz, right? Respectfully. But he scores goals, right? And I feel like that's what we need at this moment in time because I really worry that this season we might not actually finish it in such a top four. I think all of us would be disappointed if we don't get top four, but at the same time, if it doesn't happen, I understand the reasons why it hasn't happened, that Ronaldo coming to Chelsea, and your points are very, very valid. And I mean, I just want to see those guys score goals for our team, because our team creates few quality chances. And I feel like this guy, in the right mood, the right mind frame, uh, he can be that guy for us. But I may be wrong. And like I said, I think you're very right. And but concerning the structure, I think the structure is very interesting, especially the part whereby he hires two co-directors. I'm not really sure what that means. So it's like both of them are working like in tandem, or no? It's like a team, right? I'm not sure what that is. Can you guys
Well,
explain on
let
that?
me explain to you. Let me explain to you. One is a you mean about the director, right?
Yes, yes, yes. There's
Okay.
one position where there are two directors,
Okay.
co-directors.
Oh, you mean about the recruitment one? The other one will focus on Chelsea, and then the other one will focus on the global clubs that you are going to buy. Because remember, we have been hearing rumors that Todd Bowley want to buy a team from Brazil, Portugal, France, and Belgium. So overall, I think Paul Wilstingley will focus on that, and Joe Shields will focus only at Chelsea, just like the technical director. Remember, we just hired a technical director, which is Lawrence Stewart. Lawrence Stewart will focus on those certain clubs that we are going to buy, and then we still link with Christopher Vivel, which will be a technical director for only Chelsea Football Club. So overall, I hope you understand what they're trying to do, because they want to have two persons that will deal with Chelsea only, another one will deal with the other clubs, because they can't just hire one technical director, focus only on all those clubs. So because it will be a huge job for him. So I feel like maybe what they're doing at the moment is confusing. But again, as time goes on, maybe we'll have a clear idea what they're trying to do. So I understand being confused, because I remember Ben Jacobs was saying this a lot on the football terrains and the Chelsea fan TV. Like, at the moment, you don't need to read too much on those titles. But Todd Bowley and co wants to build a structure that can recruit best players for Chelsea Football Club, also best players for the clubs that they're trying to do. So they're building a network, sort of a Red Bull or a Man City group. So I hope you understand now.
Oh, thanks for clearing that up. And yeah, wow. Now that you said it, it kind of sounds really intelligent. I mean, it's like domestic and foreign. If that's what I'm getting. Like, if you've got two pe people as co-directors, one is like domestic stuff, and the other one handles all the foreign business, and then they come back and and they assess which is best, international standards versus the Premier League standards. And yo, you know what? That is really intelligent. And I think Boyle is doing everything right in terms of these appointments. I think that's what he has done the best. But in the transfers, yeah, I don't think he has done the best thing with him as director, because I really do think we needed another box to box midfielder, a creative midfielder, and perhaps another defensive midfielder if Zakaria was not first option. Um, that's my only criticism of him, is remaining in that football director role that I don't think he executed it well. But I think as a businessman, because I think when you're hiring directors and stuff, that's more like a owner slash CEO businessman type of move, right? No, that one is doing well. But as a football director, I don't think he's doing that one particularly well. But if he does bring on Ronaldo in January, then yo, I'm gonna wipe his slate clean. And yeah, I'm gonna give him 10 out of 10 for that, shamelessly. I don't know what's Nick's take on on the whole structure. Oh wait, did he say it?
Yeah, I did. I think it's going to be a long process, because they evidently the Bowley's way of structuring or searching for players, or his advisors, is more statistically based, um, rather than saying rather than being a Abramovich's sort of toy and wanting. No disrespect to Abramovich. Yeah, he brought us many medals and trophies, but as I was saying earlier, his business model was results or sack. But I think Bowley is looking at a long-term plan. 5 year, is it a 5 year deal for Graham Potter will be on his contract? Obviously, we all know that contracts can be broken, but it's it is just a completely different way of working the business as far as Ted Bowley is concerned. and they look at the finite details. They're looking at players statistically as well as their personalities. So they're looking at a broader picture of what will fit into the club. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's as simple as that, really. I think there's pros and cons to both ways of doing it. I work in sales. I've worked under senior managers that have, like Mourinho, have got that golden touch. They know who to bring on, who to nurture, who to kick out the backside, and who to sort of get rid of. And I've worked under some very sort of statistical based managers with no man management skills, and they both work in ways, but you've just got to surround yourself with the right staff. And if he's doing that, that's the key. He's getting the right staff behind him. And I'm sure with his business prowess, because he's a billionaire, isn't he? You don't become a billionaire for being daft. Let's be straight. He's an extremely successful businessman. So everything he does will be calculated. So, exciting times. And, but I can appreciate why people have got their reserves about it.
Oh man, big up to the blue on the chat, and then Tasca G. It seems like me you want to bring a part because he's talking about Ronaldo on the chat. So
you mean Nick Blue? Oh yeah.
yes.
What a funny bloke.
Yeah, but overall, and so far, I've been crying out loud as a Chelsea fan under Roman Abramovich. We just needed a few football-minded board members so that they can help us overcome certain divisions. Because under Roman Abramovich, we've been buying world-class players, but again, did they fit to what we are trying to do? I'm not sure about that. Because we just want a lot of resources. What?
I just wanted to ask you a question, but I can go after. It's fine.
Okay, no problem. So overall, we've been buying players, but again, we are not sure that where will they fit. But as a Chelsea fans, we're excited to have them because this was what we do. We want the world-class players at our club, but again, I felt like some players we've got so far under the old regime, like they didn't fit to what we were trying to do. So at the same time, I'm glad that football is trying to put people in place so that they can be helpful going forward. And also, I can understand why he's taking that role as a sporting director because he still wants Michael Edwards, a former Liverpool sporting director. So now at the moment, he's still taking that role until he gets his man. But hopefully before next summer, we get him because we don't want to wait for 2 years for one person. We'd rather go for other personnel that will come in Chelsea and help us going forward. Yeah, Tasca G, go on, my friend.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say, getting from what Nick was saying, he said one point that I agree with. He said that I think he mentioned something like Mourinho was like the best at assembling a squad. Am I right, Nick?
Yeah, he chose what Didier Drogba for certain, and a lot of the players around him. He built that team around him. But it was more of his man management skills initially, that stand out amongst making him one of the best coaches in football. He just knows who to handhold, who to kick, you know, and who needs nurturing and so on. You know, it's that's the thing about Mourinho that makes him such a good manager.
True. I agree. But now the question I wanted to pose to you guys, is that how many signings, let's say in the past decade, do you think that were attributed to the board in terms of good signings? Not let's not pick good. Let's not just say every sign, but like good signings. Okay, no, not the last decade, the past 2 decades. Like, I think the good signings were manager picks, like Mourinho picking the players that you mentioned and stuff. I think it was him. I don't think the board has actually been that efficient in signing players. I don't know what you guys think. Like for these past 20 years, can we say that our board from the beginning, right from the Roman Abramovich era, to present day, has this been a board that actually knows what it's doing, that knows the identity of the football club? Or is this a board that has just hired elite managers that attract elite players? Something like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. But again, if I'm not mistaken, Nick will help me because in a few years under Roman Abramovich, his first few years, I didn't know who was there to help Jose Mourinho to get players. But again, I remember first summer at Chelsea, he got I think 8 or 9 players, if I'm not mistaken, and then they were world-class players. But overall, I think what we did the time we had Mikel Emelano as I think he was a technical director or a sporting director, if I'm not mistaken. We made so many good signings because he had a structure, he had a network of scouting, he knew what to do. He scouted a lot of talented players. Some worked, some didn't work. But again, if you can check, for example, likes of Mohamed Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, that didn't work at Chelsea. They were scouted by Mikel Emelano. But again, under Jose Mourinho, at his second spell, he decided to sell them because at the moment he had best players that were playing, and those players didn't want to be best players. So I can understand that. But again, I felt like we should have kept them. But again, that's my opinion. But overall, I think the time Roman Abramovich took over until Mikel Emelano left Chelsea, we've been struggling. We've been buying players for the sake of buying. And then we've been overspending for the sake of overspending. And the other thing, like, if Roman Abramovich wanted a certain player, for example, he wanted Torres, he buy Torres for himself. And there's been certain rumors say his kid wanted Romelu Lukaku. They got Lukaku for Roman Abramovich, not for Thomas Tuchel. So overall, I have a mixed feeling about that. But I just want to give Nick a chance to explain more because I feel like you have a lot of experience under being a Chelsea fan.
You want my explanation why I'm a Chelsea fan?
Nick?
Yeah.
Go on.
So you want my explanation why I'm a Chelsea fan?
No, Jessica G is asking about which certain players did we sign under 2 decades that worked very, very well. Also, like, were we buying players because of world-class managers we had? or we didn't buy players from our board, recruiting them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we in the early days, there was a lot of buying up players that, you know, we literally bought players from other clubs so that our main rivals wouldn't get them. I mean, I can't remember the gentleman's name now. I've actually met him as well. A Charlton player, Scott Parker. That's it. Fantastic midfielder. Fantastic. Brilliant work ethic. Yeah, he did so well at Charlton, and he did reasonably well at Chelsea, but literally was a bench player. And that's just one of the players that we purchased just for the sake of buying up, so that other teams couldn't, so wouldn't have that talent. Which is obviously it's shrewd business, and it's one way of making sure that other clubs don't get that talent. But yeah, Scott Parker was definitely a player that we could have used more before selling on. And yeah, it's always. I mean, take Antonio Conte. He come into the club. I can't remember who he brought with him initially. Wasn't it Morata? Morata, sorry. Yeah, he brought him with him initially. No, he didn't. Anyway, so he was a fantastic manager. You know, we the first season we had with him, we won the cup, didn't we? And the chap was just so passionate about the football we played. It was exciting football, brilliant. But then obviously the following season, what happened? He didn't get the players that he requested. I think Diego Costa sort of started flirting with going to a Chinese club, and with all the money that was being thrown at him there, and had his head turned. Obviously, he fell out with Costa, and then in his second year, Antonio wasn't backed up by the club with the players that he wanted, and then obviously player power, which is another subject. They all stopped playing for him. So yeah, I think there's been an awful lot of players bought by the board that haven't actually fitted with what the managers wanted. I think, we keep on going on about Declan Rice over the last few seasons, and I understand and completely appreciate the cost that West Ham have put on Declan Rice, which will considerably drop next season, because he's coming to the end of his contract. So from 150 grand, he's going to be lucky to be, or West Ham are going to be lucky to get 50 million for him. So we keep on getting these players in from Europe that aren't proven in the Premiership. And that's been a massive downfall with this squad. They're just not physically capable of the fight that's put and the physicality of the British game. And you can see that with as soon as a goal scored against them, it's heads down. There's no real fight. And that's why I'm saying we need that core being built. Whether it's English players that have proven their, or players from the Premiership, not English players as such, but players from the Premiership that have proven they can take the physicality. Because there's no point in getting somebody from Serie A where it's or La Liga where the players there it's all technical and they're allowed time on the ball to do that, to create a pass and so on. Because you just don't get that with the English game. It's too fast paced. It's close football. It's physical, and that's what like the likes of Havertz and so on. They're struggling with, and it's quite obvious.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then even like Bruce said here, even before Roman Abramovich, the best signings were made by managers. Saskaji, are you still there, my friend?
Yes, yes, I'm still here.
So are you happy about what you've answered?
Yes, yes, I'm happy. I agree. I think that the board has been lackluster in signings, and the better signings have been coming from managers, different types of managers. But Antonio Conte, I think they really didn't give him the signings he wanted, because according to this man, he said he had 3 pages of players. You know, like I'm sure that's like how many? Yeah, maybe 3 sets. That's 3 sets of teams. 3 sets of teams, and they didn't give him any of that. So yeah, it is what it
Yeah, I
is.
agree. Sorry to cut you off. I agree because if we had Antonio Conte now as our manager and then Todd Bowley coming in and telling him that which players do you want, I feel like Antonio Conte was the right man to help Todd Bowley buying certain players because as we heard the rumors about the Thomas Tuchel sacking, he didn't cooperate very well with the new owners. He didn't be very helpful for them to get certain players. He made their lives so difficult because they're new into football. But again, they trusted that Thomas Tuchel will be very helpful in order to secure those players. But again, I just wish Thomas Tuchel very the best going forward into his next his club. I don't want to dwell so much about Thomas Tuchel. I appreciate what he did for Chelsea Football Club. I still love him. I love him. But again, Grandpa now at the moment, he's our coach. I'll support him 100%. And I wish that he can overturn things from first game that we're playing against, I think it's Bournemouth, if I'm not mistaken, after the World Cup. Kickstart our season so that we can push into our top four. But again, as I said, Tasgaji, it won't be easy at the moment because uh, we still lack some few uh, technical ability. And then at the moment, what I see at Chelsea, we're too slow to progress the ball. Every time when you build a play, we're too slow for that. So going forward in general transfer window, I just want Chelsea to be aggressive again. I don't know how much they'll spend. I just wish they'll get important players that will help us going to challenge for the top four. For example, 2 midfielders and right back, because we all know Rhys James had an injury last season, and even Ben Chilwell. But at least at the moment, we have Cocorella that will help Chilwell there. But at the same time, on Rhys James' side, Aspilicueta is a good player, but again, I feel like his legs now at the moment just went off a little bit. So we need a type of a player just like Chris James or slightly another Chris James in order for us going forward. And also, since Angola Kante got injured, we've been struggling in the midfielder. So overall, I hope from January we just buy 2 midfielders, a creative midfielder and a defensive midfielder. And if Ziyech goes, I want an attacker and a right back. But again, January January window is always difficult for us to buy players. But again, I just want Chelsea to be aggressive because if you're gonna buy players in January, we'll struggle. until we're not being in Europe next season, which are not Chelsea's standard at the moment. So hopefully after the World Cup, to Bully and Grandpa and everyone there having meetings and stuff, how to build Chelsea going forward. We need that. But again, guys, I just want to talk about the World Cup a little bit, and then after 15 minutes, we wrap it up because few certain things to do. So I'm going to start with Nick. So overall, what is your thoughts about Qatar World Cup? There have been certain rules there that the fans, the players, everyone are not happy. And also, in the World Cup, which team do you fancy to win the World Cup? Who is the underdog? And who will be the flop of the World Cup?
Well, that's a big one because, as I say, obviously I'd like England to progress through to the finals. We've definitely got some talent there to get us through. But I think um, flop. I really, really don't know who's not doing particularly well at the moment in the World Cup scene. But I think if we don't win, I'd like Italy to win. I like their flair. I'm a big VR.
Unfortunately, Italy is not there. Are you there, Nick? Unfortunately, Italy is not qualified.
Sorry?
Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, I think so. Italy.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want England to do really well to win it. But if not England, then Italy. But who? Uh, uh, I, I don't know who's going to be a flop. I honestly don't know because at the end of the day, you know, Scotland might get through to the finals through having some really good group stages, um, and they might play out their skins for the whole tournament and get them through to the final. It could be. You just don't know, do you? You just don't know. Some key players might be unavailable, just like how we're suffering at the moment. So it's too early to say for me. I'll need to watch a few games to sort of give you an idea of who would flop. But for me personally, obviously England and then Italy, because I want to learn Italian. And I like Gianluca Vialli.
Nick, unfortunately, Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup. I'm sorry, my friend. But again, Nick Blue just said something there. In Chelsea, we need mix of great young English players like we had before John Terry, Frank Lampard, Joko, Ashley Gold. We can say we have one ingredient only, and I agree with you, Blue. But again, Taskaji, which team do you fancy to win the World Cup?
Okay, I think the team that's gonna win the World Cup will not be the French African team. Yep, it's not gonna be France. It's definitely not gonna be France. I think it's gonna be a South American team. I'm going that side. And I think a team that is gonna surprise us potentially, like the dark horse is gonna be a team like I don't know, is Denmark involved? Is it Denmark? Is Denmark in the World Cup?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'll choose those Danish people. I think we have what it takes. But I do think a South American team is gonna win this World Cup. They've been training really well. Brazil, Argentina, those guys are gonna bring a different level of energy and their players. I mean, the dangerous ones are available. So it's a blow for England that, you know, key players are gonna be missing. It's a blow for France. Key players gonna be missing. Germany, with Hansi Flick, can always surprise us, but I doubt they don't have Jerome Boateng. And you see, it's another thing I talk about character because Boateng was the type of defender that stayed back to, you know, like protect Manuel Neuer for some reason. One defender only, and he was intercepting and doing the absolute most fantastic player. But that now that his ability has let him down and that he still has the same character, he can still be picked for the World Cup. So I count them out too. So yeah, I can't see because Germany attacks with like what seven, 8 players. And unless they don't play like that anymore, then yeah, maybe they have a chance. But if they're playing the same way we saw them play the last time without Boateng, then nah, I don't think they have what it takes. But they do have Rudiger, so interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But again,
I think Argentina's gonna win it, guys. Argentina or Brazil.
yeah, I agree with you. Overall, my favorite team at the moment in World Cup, I just want Brazil to win it. But again, if not Brazil, I just want Eden Hazard to lift the world trophy because Belgium last time they were close. They were beaten by France 1-0 in the semi-final, and then they always been close. But at the same time, I just want Brazil to do well. It's my first team, and my second team is Belgium. But overall, guys, Brazil to win it, and then the underdog there, Denmark. As I said it, I fancy Denmark to do very well because they have a very good structure. They have a very good individuals that can score goals, and then unfortunately, Germany will be the flop of the World Cup. Not because of I don't like Germany. I love Germany, but again, in order to win a World Cup, you need a top striker that can lead you, scoring those important goals for you. You can create chances. You can have many creative players, but again, if not having a top striker, you won't be able to win those important games because, as you see in Brazil, they've been having Ronaldo overall, scoring fantastic goals for them. Even England, the last time for them to lose in the semi-final, they had Harry Kane doing magic for them. So we'll wait and see what is going to happen in this World Cup. But again, big up to Brazil. Go Brazil! But overall, guys, I just want your final thoughts on what we've been talking about. Then we're going to end the stream. So I'm going to start with Nick.
Final thoughts on what we've been talking about today?
Yes.
Just one player that you've mentioned there, Timo Werner. I just wish that we hadn't got rid of him because I think he would have come into his element this season. But that's that. But no, yeah, this isn't a transition period with Chelsea. This is a massive project. And again, I think we've all said it. We just need to get behind Graham Potter and watch the process. It will. It's not going to be a quick one because we need to build that core of players under a manager, and we need that consistency of one manager building his team. And we'll be there. And then, as I say, England for the World Cup, and then Italy. What are you talking about? South American clubs. Tut.
It's coming home. It's coming home, Nick.
Yeah, definitely. I love that patriotism, man. Yes. My takeaway, yo, I have to resonate, yo, Nick. First time I meet you on this platform, but I agree with you on lots of things that you've been saying today. Yes, I don't think that this is a transition period for Chelsea. Chelsea's a winning team. I don't think at all that we should be taking it that no, it's a team in transition. This team needs results. It's always been a result-orientated team, and I resonate with that. But one thing I do hope for, just to wrap it up, I do hope that Boyle becomes really greedy, channels that inner American in him, that big businessman, that oil money, that oil wealth, the wars and everything, and he just becomes really reckless and buys Ronaldo, We'll deal with the consequences later. Let's get Ronaldo. Let's get this man scoring goals. And in the World Cup, I hope he doesn't get knocked out on the group stages.
I tell you, you were quite right by what you were saying about Ronaldo earlier. So, yeah, I still got my reservations, but you were quite right with what he would bring to the team, and it would be a temporary thing. So, yeah, good points that you made on him as well.
Yeah, guys, overall, thank you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And thanks to Lemley who was here. Big up to Nick Blue. Thank you, my friend. And also big up to Nick on the panel. Appreciate it. And hopefully we're going to do another stream when the Chelsea, the World Cup is still kicking off. Maybe I'll just make time because at the same time, like as I said before, like I'm having an issue with load shedding in our Chelsea in our country. Sorry, that power of sometimes power can cut off for certain hours, and then without power, network is not working. So it's so annoying. So I can't do streams. But again, if I get chance, I'll let you know that when I'm free, and we're going to talk about Chelsea and a few things about the World Cup. So big up to also Taska G, my friend. I appreciate it when you come here. Up the channels, and also if you're new to this channel, please subscribe to the channel and like the stream so that people can interact to what you are doing here. So up the channels.
Cheers, guys.